Welcome, Amanda here from Crafting with Amanda, and I have a card project for you today. I am using papers from the In Full Bloom collection. I do have the card workshop and the scrapbooking workshop, and if you get the card workshop, this is what comes with it. You get the die cuts for the butterfly and the film strip, which are huge, but I am not going to follow those patterns because those instructions are out there and pretty easy to do, and Close to My Heart will walk you through those. On May 10th, you can go to the Facebook page and they'll walk you through the cuts and everything. So as you can see, I've been using some of this paper, and I just wanted to show you, I absolutely love this. I love the colors. I love the variety, the Edison bulbs, the cameras, the flowers. It has everything. So here is just a look at it. It has the avocado green plus the glacier and the lagoon paper, white daisy, and black. So I pulled out some other embellishments. How I craft, I kind of like to pull my stuff out that I'm going to use or I think I'm going to use. So that's what I'm showing you here is I pulled out the stamp set and thin cut from the card workshop. And then here's a peek at the die cuts that's in part of the In Full Bloom collection. And then the stamp in the lower left-hand corner is from, it's a scrapbooking stamp. And I just love the flowers in that. It's also a thin cut. And here I'm just showing you an organizational tip. I use this kind of mail separator to hold my stamps, and also my embellishments are in those same folders. So by putting them in there, it's just kind of a nice secure storage spot. To start off, the first card I want to do is from day 3 of sketches from the 30 Days of Sketches, Christy's Beautiful Life for March 2022. That sketch that's kind of off-centered on the back is from Scrapsketches. So I thought, again, I would emulate that by using a card base stencil and putting some texture paste through it. And I'm just doing it the color that it is. What I thought that I would do is, instead of tinting the textured medium, I would go ahead and lightly, you'll see later that I will ink over it just with a real light-handed sponge. So while that dries and I cleaned up my stuff, and I highly recommend if you use texture paste, to go clean up your stuff right away. It comes off easy if you do it right away. So now I'm looking at the second sketch that I'm going to use today, and this is from Brenda Ragsdale, and it was found on the Scrap Group Instagram feed. So I just want to use the inner circle of this stencil, and both of the stencils are from Close to My Heart, and they're in the core catalog for 2021-2022. So you have until September if you want to take a gander at any of those. But I'm kind of just making some masks so that I don't go outside of that inner circles. And right now my life is in chaos in that I had to pack up most of my studio, and so I'm working out of totes. I'm kind of in retreat mode, but retreat mode while showing a house, if that gives you any idea of what's going on. So I'm just discombobulated, and so that's why I don't have any Post-it note paper available to me. So now I'm taking the Perfectly Imperfect pattern stamp, and I'm just doing some blotches with the black soot distress oxides. And it's funny, for me, in mixed media and in doing kind of some of that grunge look, I always felt like it didn't look good, and it really bothered me. And like right now, I really am not enjoying the base of this cardstock. And I keep forgetting part of the thing that mixed media is known for and is great for is not just the textures and the different elements, but it's the layers. So I'm going to cover up enough of this that I'm actually loving how this is kind of coming together already. So here I am looking at my sentiments, and from the card making workshop, I am using the, I believe, So Grateful or You're the Best. I think maybe it's You're the Best. And I'm just going to put that on the very bottom of this medallion so that I can kind of add some more images, and I'll end up inking the edges later because I find that it was just too stark for me. But here I'm just taking it's kind of a leafy bit, but it's a solid leaf. On this stamp set, there's one that is open so you could color it in, and one that's solid. And I decided to use the solid one in first and second generation. And why I have the 2 stamp pads there is because my Lagoon ink was an old style pad, and it got packed and stacked in the garage so that I don't really have access to it right now. So by using the old emerald color and Carolina, I can kind of get a very close to proximity of Lagoon. I don't recommend it, but you know, necessity builds inventions, I guess. So here I'm using my T ruler to get those lines on there correctly. And then I'm going to layer this other banner on, and the sketch is off the screen, but it definitely kind of gives a nod to that sketch. And here all is said and done, and it just needs some gold shimmer brush to it, and that adds so much. In real life, it's amazing the difference. So I'm going to grab some stickers off of the sticker sheet that came with the paper kit, and that butterfly and the little heart are from there. And then this is what I told you about before that I'm going to do is just the leftover ink from the Distress Oxide, I believe it was the ocean color. I'm just kind of lightly sponging over that texture that I did through the stencil. So off camera, I went ahead and cut 4 1-inch squares, and I'm kind of trying to put them down here at the bottom, and I keep forgetting that the textured paint or the stenciling part is off kilter, but then these 4 squares on the sketch are perpendicular and line up with the paper itself, not with the off-kiltered background. But I thought this was kind of cool. I was trying to figure out a place to put the sentiment, and so I just did it along the edge of our stenciling. And then here I got too much glue on those first 2 things, so first 2 pieces of paper, so I'm just dabbing the other ones in them. And this is where I keep adjusting the squares because I keep forgetting that they need to be parallel to the top and side of the bottom and side of the card, not the stenciling that's at an angle. And again, I just grabbed some more stickers, and it's at this point that I felt like it was too light on light. There wasn't enough dark things in here to help anchor the images. So now I am cutting apart these die cuts that come with the In Full Bloom card kit. They also come with the scrapbooking kit, but you can buy them separate, and they're amazing. They're chipboard, but they're great. It's almost, to me, it almost has a real thin plastic feel, but they cut real easy because they're chipboard. And then I realized I have the heart up next to the sentiment, and I have the 2 berry kind of things poking through, and I just need one more black to kind of drag your eye across this card. So these are not necessarily expensive, over embellished cards. These are just beautiful, easy to mail, won't cost extra postage, and I love to decorate my envelopes too. So as you can see, that's what I did there. So here's the 2 cards. Okay, I'm gonna leave this in here because these are the 2 cards that I did for last week Friday. Sorry about that. It's just funny that I pulled the wrong picture. So here are the 2 cards today, and you can see all of the different textures. They're both pretty flat so that they'll mail well, and yet they pack a lot of punch. Here's how you can catch up with me. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, you could do that now. Any video that you like or comment on is great for the channel. Here's another video you may be interested in, and I hope you have a blessed day. Thank you.